Hello, good yo-yo people. I'm Nate. I'm a sponsored player by Squared YoYos, and this is another episode of Nate Reviews Yo-Yos. Today I have the privilege of reviewing the Dang 2 by One Drop Yo-Yos. So this is my review of the Dang 2. All right, as usual, this is the in the hand section. What does it actually feel like in the hand before I throw it? And you'll see that on the string section. So what is this yo-yo like? You'll find the specs of this yo-yo in the description box, as well as information about myself, my sponsor, and information about One Drop Yo-Yos and where you might be able to find this yo-yo. So let's talk about the yo-yo, the Dang 2. This is, of course, a signature yo-yo. Those who have been around the community for a while, this is a yo-yo signature, second signature, Dang 2, from Paul Dang, who was over at One Drop. He just recently not left One Drop. He was working for One Drop in Eugene, Oregon, and he moved, and so he's no longer working for them, but he's still sponsored by them. And this is a yo-yo of his. I had the privilege of owning the Dang, the original one, a couple of them actually, a few years back, but I actually don't currently have one. I wish I did to compare this, but it's quite different. And in fact, you know, looking at the Dang 1 and comparing it to the Dang 2, if you've played it or if you even saw pictures of it, you would say, oh, this is night and day. Completely different yo-yos. And in a way, you would be correct. The Dang 1, for one, it was a side effect yo-yo. This is not. This is a tapped axle, and so it's set in there. And the Dang 1 was also a very high-walled yo-yo. Had a very unique feel to it. There are some similarities if you know what to look for. The way I would kind of talk about this Dang 2 in comparison to the Dang 1 as far as influence is really what it basically did is it looked like it kind of spread out the yo-yo a little bit. No, this yo-yo isn't exactly wide or anything. It's not really any wider than the Dang 1, but it's certainly not a high-walled yo-yo anymore, and they kind of spread it out. But the shape is kind of similar. It's just a little bit larger of a gap and less high-walled. And of course, it is a tapped axle. I kind of actually like that for a signature yo-yo. You know, sometimes for One Drop yo-yos, you'll see both of those. You'll see some of their yo-yos are side effect that are signature yo-yos, some that are tapped like this. For me, it's nice. I love side effect yo-yos. I love the ability to sort of swap out different weights and colors and all that and customize it to however I want. But when you think about a signature yo-yo, I know that the way this comes out of the box is exactly the way that Paul wanted it to play. And so if I didn't like that, well, I might want to switch out the side effects if it was available, but this doesn't have side effects available. So it's going to play exactly like Paul intended, which I think is kind of cool. We kind of get into the mind a little bit of Paul, the sponsored player here, and get to see a little bit what he intended. The Dang 2 is One Drop's most tested yo-yo that they've ever tested. Paul spent a lot of time with this yo-yo, just kind of really being nitpicky about every detail. Quick decisions were not made about this yo-yo. The Dang 2 metal is constructed of 70-75 aluminum instead of the 60-61 standard that you see in most yo-yos. So it's a little bit denser, and you can work a little bit more with that. So you can make those walls a little bit thinner and work with that metal. And so I believe they probably very much utilized the 70-75 on this. I'd like to see a cutaway on this to see what that zone looks like, but how thin they actually ended up getting those walls. Let's talk about the shape a little bit. And it's kind of an odd hybrid of shapes. It's certainly organic, especially in the feel in the hand. It has a little bit of that curvature to it, but then it also has a little bit of that H shape in those rims. And you also have a little bit of a V shape there as well. So it's kind of an organic V shape with H shape kind of beefy rims. Really nice kind of best of all worlds. It has a Pyramatte finish. Really nice and durable. Like I said, it does not have side effects. It is a tapped axle, so you get what you get. You do have a nice little cup in there, but it's probably not going to be fantastic for finger spins, nothing like that. It does not have a distinctive IRG. You might be able to tilt it and get a thumb grind or something like that in there, but it doesn't really have a set-in IRG. All right, that's about all I can say about in the hand section. Let's go see how it plays and move to the on the string section. Welcome back to the on the string section with the Dang 2 signature yo-yo of Paul Dang of One Drop YoYos. I really enjoy One Drop yo-yos. One Drop doesn't put out a bad yo-yo. They really don't. The guys there know what they're talking about, and Sean is an amazing machinist, and they just always hit the ball out of the park in every yo-yo that they release. But there are some yo-yos from One Drop I prefer a little more than others, just based on my personal preference. And I'll tell you what, I've had this for a while now, a couple weeks, and I've played, other than maybe one or two yo-yos out there that One Drop has released, I've played everything from them, and this is becoming one of my top, probably three from them. It's just an overall really just beautiful yo-yo. Now, One Drop is known for really smooth yo-yos, but this particular one, and maybe it's just this one out of the box, but you know, sometimes you have that. It's just so smooth. It's dead smooth, and part of that is, I think, you know, you can get really smooth side effect yo-yos, but sometimes, you know, you get that you twist it in wrong and it's user error a little bit, that it's not perfectly smooth. But because it's tap axle, you're really going to have a really smooth yo-yo every time you throw it. As far as the play on the string, it's hard to really categorize this yo-yo as far as how it plays. I mean, I would throw it in the floaty category. I'd throw it in the stability category, very stable. I would throw it in the sort of zippy, you know, quick category where you're going to be able to really move that in the string. I would also throw it in the commanding kind of category where you feel like you're not, you know, you can really have a lot of control of it, and it's very deliberate in its play. It's hard to explain. I mean, it's just an overall, like, it kind of hits a lot of those different things, and part of it is, a lot of it's the weight distribution. You're going to see that, you know, there's a little kind of not a really stability ring, but there's certainly, you can see even in the cups there, some weight right in the center there. So that's going to create a lot of stability to the yo-yo, but also unique feel where, but it also has some nice beefy rims to it because of that sort of hybrid H shape that it also adds to the mix. And so you have just a really nice overall playing yo-yo. Plus then you have that V shape, organic kind of V shape going along with it. So you have a really nice huge gap that's going to be great for even things like horizontal. Overall, I mean, it just kind of tacks off every box that you'd possibly want for just a really well-playing yo-yo, but also a really competition-driven yo-yo. Right, so my final opinion on the Dang 2 by One Drop YoYos, signature yo-yo of Paul Dang. Like I said, this is one of my favorites right now. Maybe because it's so new, I have to wrestle with it for a couple of months here, but it's quickly becoming one of my favorite One Drop yo-yos because it tacks off so many boxes, and it just all around almost a perfect yo-yo for hitting all those things like floaty and smooth and stable and long spin times, and just overall really nice. It's quite the hybrid of different shapes, so you're going to get the best of all the worlds of an organic shape, a V shape, and an H shape. And so all around really good yo-yo. Really good job, One Drop. Really good job, Paul. It definitely shows that you put a lot of work and testing into this yo-yo. So all right, that's my review of the Dang 2 by One Drop YoYos. Good day and good yo-yo.